My parents' business really is a story of starting from scratch and figuring it out as you go. They essentially self-funded everything. They didn't believe in taking out huge loans. It's so different than the world we live in today. My name is Walter Craven. I am a junior. I have the exact same name as my father. My dad has a special company, a place where people can go, contractors, designers, interior designers, and they can have things made by someone who has decades of experience and realize in 3D what they may have drawn in 2D.
What brought me to this, I thought I could make more money working for myself than I could for someone else. I was born and brought up in Boston. Used to do a lot of evil, bad things. Got in front of the judge one day, and I guess he got a little bit of tired of seeing me. He looked at my record and he said, "Listen, kid, you better go in the service or go to jail." So at high old silver, I joined the Navy. And it was good experience. They taught me how to weld, fabricate steel, make things. And that was the best thing that ever happened to me. Then I met my wife.
Well, I usually call it a bar, but I won't. I'll say it's a restaurant, but because half of it was a restaurant. And Walter asked me to dance, and he took me home that night, took my telephone number. I dated him the next night. He took me to meet his mother the third day, and we said we loved each other.
We didn't have no kids for 5 years. Scared that I couldn't support kids. That was the main reason we didn't have kids.
6 months after we got married, he come home and said, "I just quit my job." I went, "Huh?" And he said, "I must have told my mother." He did. He didn't tell me. That's the founding of Weld. His mother said, "Put something up in my backyard and you can start here." The shed is still there, still there.
It was a sad awakening when my wife had to support me for the first 5 years. And every once in a while I'd hear her say, "I'm supporting you, you bastard." But we got over that.
And then his business had developed. He said, "I need a bigger space." In 1975, he found the building which he's now in.
It was like night and day. With that much space, it was spectacular. Short and sweet, too much.
No,
Get out of here. So I said, "What the hell is going on here? We're gonna have kids or what?" So we had Walter. He was a joy. Used to love doing things with him.
There's the front of the house and there's the back of the house. And my mom is definitely the back of the house. So my father, being an entrepreneur, you have a tendency to take risks and maybe sometimes take risks that you shouldn't. And so my mother was there with a lasso saying, you know, "Walter, hold on. We need to think about this. We need to run the numbers. We need to look at this." So my mom was the anchor on the ship. She's the foundation of the house. She's the brakes on the train.
Well, I was always good at bookkeeping, and I also, I'm good at figures. I didn't go to college, but I had a lot of common sense. So that's it. And Walter and I basically get along really well.
She did a good portion of it, you know. She was the heart and soul of it.
I'm behind the scenes. He recognizes me. I'll say it like that. I don't, I'm lucky. He's taken good care of me and our family. So yeah, we work together because we were together. It has to work that way.
And he was never one to say, "You shouldn't do that," or "You can't do that." He very rarely even said, "Be cautious about it." He'd just say, "Let's do it."
We had good times, bad times. I guess for a while there we had no, when the kids were in college, no insurance, no medical, no nothing. We were at the bare bones, struggling just to pay the tuitions. And goddamn kids killed us. Well, first pickup truck I bought, I think I paid $50 for it out of the junkyard. Kept it for 2 years. Never insured it, never registered it. Had some bullshit plates on it that weren't worth a dime. And I just ran around, took my chances with that. Joni, you listening? Should I tell them how I robbed all them tools? anything, you know, you do what you got to do.
And what my parents have done is they've serviced entire generations of contractors, architects, and designers with their two hands, with these tools. And we're seeing this disappear.
A lot of it's made by machines today. The old-time craftsman is almost out. It's almost a miracle to find someone who does actual forging anymore. It's a rare, rare thing. Matter of fact, my son has one of those machines. He does real well with it. I've seen some of the products that he's made with it. Amazes me, you know.
There's only a few fabricating shops like Walter's. And as years progress, they will be wiped out.
He planted seeds. He got to know people. People was his business. He employed local, young kids from the neighborhood that there's no way anyone would give him a chance. My dad said, I'll take him in. I'll teach him how to weld. I'll teach him how to measure. I'll teach him how to cut. My dad was always about the people. He was always planting seeds. To this day, there'll be people coming back 40 years later saying, Walter, I remember you teaching me how to weld. I have my own little business. I had 2 kids. I got a car. I got a truck. Thank you. I witnessed this. This is incredible. What is he leaving behind? It's the fruition and the growth of all these little seeds he planted throughout 40, 45 years. Incredible effect on people.
It's true that people always remember that business. It's true. So he won't, right now, he won't disappear. Too many people have known Walter. He's been there over 40 years.
Yeah, a lot of people know me. A lot of people recommend me all the time, you know. Yeah. I think I'm going to run for governor next time.
And people say to him, oh, you should be the mayor. People say to me, you should be the mayor. Yeah, that was always, there's always been an open door policy, and Walter, you know, oh, can you just do this? Oh, sure. Well, something. Oh, no, Judd. Oh, go ahead, you know. And you don't have that. We don't want to lose being human. It's really important. It's necessary for growth as individuals.
Walk around with a big smile on your face, putting on the happy face.
People like him because he is not afraid to give of himself. Look, he's a businessman, he's got to make money, but if it came down to taking the shirt off his back or saying no to something, he'd take the shirt off his back. He's that kind of guy. So that's the thing about my dad that no education, I think, could have taught him. He had to do it himself.
Well, you know, I'm proud of 9th grade education. I put 3 kids through college, and we lived decent, you know. I just worked hard, and that was it, you know. Nothing, no one give me anything. You get what you work for. That's the bottom line. You know, hell, if I can do it, anyone can do it, you know. Accomplished self-satisfaction.
They had no doubts about that they were going to make it, and they did, and they made it. They made it to the end of the finish line. And I know times are tough. Times got really scary at times, you know, putting kids through school and everything, but they had a hell of a lot of fun. If someone were to do what they did today, the way they did it, I don't know if it would have worked. I just don't know. So the timing was right. It was just the perfect timing to incubate this little business.
There's great pride that you started something small, and you built, and you also involved your family. My son, my husband taught him. When he was 4, he started, well, even when he was 2, his hands were wonderful. So we have a son that uses his hand, uses his mind, and that's part of our heritage too. Well, it's time for us to sign off. We want our future to be with our family and to be together. That's my sign off.